Okay! Okay, so today we're doing a Yandere tier list. Because, you know, when you think of the best anime trope, you think Yandere, obviously. So I'm gonna rate the Yanderes from not only anime, but manga, light novels, visual novels. Basically, any that you can probably think of are on this list. Even ones that are more sub-Yandere. Where they are maybe not fully Yandere, but they're still sub-Yandere. They're still included. So, and obviously we have OGs. And obviously we can rate them best of the best, which is obviously like OG or like very special in my heart, you know. So some of them may be a bit biased, maybe. Who knows? And then obviously some that I love, to I like, to they're alright, to meh, they kind of suck. And they can die. They earn my wrath for whatever I was doing that they were in. Then who? I don't know them, which shouldn't be the case, because I'm pretty sure I know all of them. Not the Yandere, so those who are considered a Yandere by some, and I do not consider them a Yandere. I can see a few. Bad representation of a Yandere. So someone who maybe doesn't fit what I would consider a good Yandere, like, you know, someone who maybe is just being a slaughterhouse, not really in love, or like, you know, someone who is just too psychotic. We'll see. Either way, we roll. Beware, there were spoilers in the video, so make sure to check the timestamps in the description below if you want to make sure to avoid a specific Yandere, or I guess series. Make sure to check it. So to start, we have Akane Hiyama, who is from Love Tyrant. Now, Love Tyrant as an anime, it's okay. It was fun for the first few episodes, but then it dragged on, I feel like, with its premise. And this Yandere is honestly more of a gag Yandere in my eyes. Like, she didn't fit the term of Yandere. It just felt more like, oh, let's be violent for a gag, more than, like, she felt more tsundere to me. Like, the only reason I guess she fits in she fits in the category of a Yandere is, one, she's just very possessive. Two, she just kills everyone. So because I don't feel the series vibe, I'm gonna say she's a bad representation. If I wasn't putting it in here, it would probably be not a Yandere. But I think she does show the traits. It's a little less serious of a Yandere. Or representation of a Yandere. So I'm sorry, Akane, you have to go in there. And next up we have Yuno Gasai. Oh yeah, and if you wanted me to give her a rating up here, it would be can die. You know, she's killed enough people to die. I think she may even die in the anime, like once. I'm not sure though. You know, don't hold that against me. I don't remember. Okay, Yuno Gasai. I mean, we should have started off strong with Yuno first, but let's ignore the order of this tier list, because I definitely was thinking about that when I did this. Yeah, Yuno Gasai. I mean, Future Diary was the anime that got me into anime. It was my first real one. I did watch it in the dub, so, you know, you can chastise me for that if you want. I prefer the dub over the sub in this case. You know, I'm starting a war in the comments already. But I've also seen the French dub for this one. I've seen all versions. I've watched Mirai Nikki like probably close to 10 times. I used to watch it a lot at night, so, you know, I'm what you call a very experienced Mirai Nikki avid enjoyer. I also watched the OVA. The OVA was kind of mid, I'm not gonna lie, but the original series for the first half is really peak. You know, it's kind of Death Note. You know, the first half is good, the second half is it falls off. But yeah, from that alone, yeah, I'm not gonna use the anime for bias, but Yuno is like one of my favorites. So, you know, like honestly, even a tier for herself would not be a stretch. She's like the queen of Yandere, and I don't think anyone can argue with that. The only thing I could see someone doing different is saying she's overhyped as a Yandere and she's overrepresented, and in that case I'd probably give it a lower score. But you know, for me, I am basic. I really like Yuno. You know, Yuno Gasai is top tier wife. Okay, next. Okay, another one I have to another name I have to search up. I hope you can't tell that I'm very bad with names. Names are not my strong suit. There we go. So basically this girl is from Yandere. There's quite a few from Yandere, because if you haven't have guessed, this visual novel is all about Yanderes. Every main heroine is a Yandere, and there's 3. Yeah, there's 3. VNDB says there's 3. I did play all of their routes, so I can give very, you know, very in-depth character analyses for all of the girls, obviously. But yeah, the first girl, I'm pretty sure it's this one. So this girl is called Saki Miyauchi. This is Saki Miyauchi. Yeah, from Yandere. She's basically the character's childhood friend. She's a Yandere. She breaks into his house constantly, and well, you know, I don't want to put it lightly, but she basically abuses him and exerts her power. To put it lightly, she kills him a lot, but I guess what Yandere would not kill the main character a lot in a visual novel. Out of all of the girls, she's probably the best one, looks wise. Personality wise, well, there's not much there. There's not much I can say about it, to be honest. I don't recommend reading Yandere. Yandere is a trip. Like, even if you love Yanderes, like, I don't know, if I would only recommend it if you really like, you know, like the main girls killing the main character a lot. I wouldn't say it's very romantic at all. Like, there's no lenience. Like, I feel like, if you compare it to Yuno, for example, right? There is some lenience in Yuno because she, you know, she's got this dependency on Yuki, you know? So there's some lenience on betrayal, you know? So it still feels like a relationship, even though she's a hardcore Yandere, you know? In Yandere, that's just not the case. Any betrayal leads to death, pretty much. Or they give you the side eye, crazily, and then they kill you. So, yeah, not much leeway. I would probably give her, not bad representation, because, again, she's still very Yandere. She's definitely a Yandere. I'd probably put her in Kandai, you know? Yeah, let's put her in Meh, you know, just so that the others can go in Kandai. She's a bad Yandere, basically. Not my cup of tea. Okay, Ame. Okay, I actually know this one. This is Ame from Needy Streamer Overload. Personally, I would not consider her a Yandere, but I believe the reason why she's considered a Yandere is because in some of the endings of the games, she does go crazy. Though, to be fair, she does cheat on the main character sometimes as well. There's probably one route like that. I didn't personally see it, or I don't remember that route. So I'm gonna say she's not a Yandere. But, you know, just, again, for fairness sake, I want to give them also a rating if I put them as not a Yandere. So if I was to rate them based on just personality, like, as a base, Ame on personality should probably go to love. I really love Ame. Ame is, I mean, what isn't there to love about Ame? You know, she's your number one eagle, you know, as your needy streamer, you know, like her conspiracy theories, they hit hard, you know, like all of her streams were bangers. They were fun and entertaining and amazing. So, you know, if you don't like Ame, then what are you doing? That's my question. But yeah, not a Yandere. But She's a yandere in my heart, you know. Okay, so this one, the manga is I love you so I kill you. The reason why the series is in here and not a specific girl is because I'm pretty sure, okay, this is going to be vague remembrance because I didn't finish reading it. I read, I think, maybe 10 volumes, which is like half of the manga, surprisingly. I read it when it was like publishing. So yeah, and I read it because there's a yandere. That's why I read it. But okay, this one, from remembrance, it's every girl is in love with him. And they are all trying to kill him because they love him so much. I can't remember exactly why. I think it's a curse or something like that. Some god gave it him, some mystical being probably. But I believe that is the case. It's either that or guys are flocking this girl. But I believe it is the guy that's getting flocked and killed by yandere women. To be honest, I don't remember it enough to rate it, so 2. But I do recommend it primarily because it's very short. So if you want something yandere, there's a little spice of yandere that isn't too long, too dedicated of your time, then this series is probably for you. I feel like this is a recommend anime tier list right now. But yeah, I'd recommend it because it's probably quick and it's over fast. Okay, it's Kotonoha, I'm pretty sure. Katsuragi Kotonoha. I remember the other girl. The other girl's called Sekai. And the only reason I remember that is because of isekai. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like, even before isekai was popular, like, Sekai just stood out to me because of isekai. Yes, Kotonoha Katsura. I was close. I said Katsuragi. Okay, but Kotonoha is her name. Don't wear it out. Kotonoha, I mean, after Yuno, she was probably my second appearance of a yandere. And okay, back in the day, I was very elitist for anime. I gave them a score, not based on my entertainment, but based on how good of an anime I think it was in a general sense. You know, like, I didn't give trash anime high scores. Okay, I know this is going to be very controversial again. Another controversial take from me. But I know a lot of people hate School Days. And true, it is a bad anime. But it's so bad, it's good kind of feeling. And while I do not support her necrophilia, I think the word is anyway, I did find the entire anime entertaining. It was hilarious. I watched it in 2 days. I gave it a 5, but I would have... Actually, no, I think I gave it like a... I think I originally gave it a 5 and then I lowered it later. But yeah, School Days I'd recommend just because it's one of those it's so bad it's good. I don't know if Sekai's on here. If Sekai's on here, you know, my bias for Katsura Kotonoha is going to show. I think I like Katsura just because I don't think she fits your stereotypical yandere. She's not entirely possessive at the beginning, and the only reason she'd be considered a yandere is because she kills the main character. Because she doesn't like that he's bedded by many women. But I still consider her yandere. You know, she just feels very OG to me. So I like Katsura because she's a nice girl, you know, and she didn't deserve what the main character did to her. So, you know, that gives bonus points, you know, as they say, some brownie points, you know. I can't be mean to her. So, Katsura up. Just, if you ignore the ending where she is basically wedding his head, okay, just ignore that part. Okay, next one we have Satou Matsuzaka, I believe. Yeah, there we go. Satou Matsuzaka. I was correct. If you can tell from me knowing her entire name, she is honestly my favorite yandere alongside Yuno. Because obviously you've got the iconic pink hair that notifies a yandere. You've got the amazing school buns. You've got the fact she's voiced by Kana Hanazawa, who is a top tier voice actress. you also have the fact that she's just adorable. You know, you have the fact that Happy Sugar Life is such a good anime. Like, so many people hate it. But, like, you know, the batshit crazy of the anime is just why it's so good. And the thing is, when it comes to Satou being yandere, it's a bit like Yuno for me. I feel like it goes deeper than the surface level of the main girl is into the main guy and will kill anyone for them. You know? I feel like it's playing with the yandere trope in a more unique way, adding depth to an otherwise kind of like not oversaturated. There's not a lot of yanderes, despite what this list looks like. But I feel like, just in general, there's just not many yanderes that go above and beyond to kind of go beyond the genre of what a yandere is, in a deeper sense of the means. But obviously with Yuno, I feel like it tackles cases of like dependency, like codependency on the main character. And with in Satou's case, I think obviously, you know, I guess trigger warning, a slight trigger warning. But yeah, it kind of deals with, you know, like the parental abuse she went through as a child. And when I consider her love for Shiho, I think she's called, the little child, I don't take it as a romantic thing, but more of a parental thing. She has a very sick and twisted love of wanting, I feel like, to give what she didn't get. She's kind of trying to fix the wrong that she experienced. And that's how I saw it. I do know a lot of people saw it as, like, you know, like actual romantic love, like the fake wedding and all that. But again, I see that as more of a symbolic thing. Because a wedding is kind of like, you know, a cement, if you will. I think that was a cement of happiness, like an eternal happiness kind of gesture that is being symbolic to, that she'll forever like live happily with Shiho, you know, in her delusional world. Yeah, that's kind of how I see Happy Sugar Life and Satou as a yandere, you know? I mean, she's definitely a yandere, but she doesn't fit your standard killing for the love interest, you know? And still, I just love her. I'm sorry. She is top tier. I hope that isn't controversial. I don't believe that's controversial, but hey, it is all just opinions. Based opinions, the right opinions, the only opinions. And now we have Toko from Danganronpa. Danganronpa as a series is something I love, and as you can see, there's a second character from Danganronpa, which I'm happy about, because I love Danganronpa. And Toko, I suppose, I mean, she, out of all of the Danganronpa characters, is the most yandere. I never considered her one personally, but we will take it as her being a yandere just because I do see where that aspect comes from with her alter ego, let's say. Toko, I would, honestly, she's not bad. Okay, I'll put her above the freaking yandere girl, Saki, because I dislike those. So Toko I don't dislike, but I don't like. So she can be in the middle. I don't have much to say on her. You know, like, the Spare Girls made me like her more, but basically I disliked her before the Spare Girls. After the Spare Girls, I did like her, and I appreciated the character development she got, you know? But I don't have much of an opinion on her. You know, she's just not my type of character that I like. That's as simple as it goes, really. Okay, next character. She's called Yuumi Kikushita. Yuumi Kikushita. Okay, this is Yuumi Kikushita. She is a teacher in Yandere. aka, yes, the main character hooks up with a teacher. Oh, not you. He hooks up with a teacher, or he's kind of forced to hook up with a teacher. You know, when I first played Yandere, I heard all of them are Yandere, but I honestly did not expect the teacher to be Yandere. I don't know what my mind was thinking when, oh yeah, all the main characters are Yandere, and then she's the main character, and it just didn't click, you know? I was like, maybe thinking she's not a main character, you know, hoping, praying, but yeah. You know, I'm not gonna go into detail about the teacher because she gave me PTSD, especially for homework, and the teacher fucking dominant power that they have over their students. Like, it's crazy. Especially in Yandere. She can die. She, honestly, out of all of them, she can die a very brutal death, and I'd be okay with that. Which I think she does, actually. I'm pretty sure every girl in every other route has some kind of weird death in there. Which, you know, maybe I'm just being delusional. I could be gaslighting myself. Which would make sense, because that was a whole trip just to get through Yandere. But I'm pretty sure they all have some brutal death because the others kill each other. It's like a battle royale for the main character. And, you know, that sounds interesting, but just no. Just no. Okay, next girl. We have another Saki. This is Saki Midou, and she's from Ijosho no Ai. This is, again, a Yandere that is abusive as hell. This Ijosho no Ai as a manga is a manga. It's very scarring. I would never recommend it. I feel like you have to be hardcore if you want to read and enjoy this manga. The main character is put through hell, and you think it's over, and then the manga is just like, got him. It's a real gotcha moment, because he's just not allowed happiness. Let's put it that way. There's a lot of abuse, torture. Other characters also feel the ire, the wrath of Saki. She doesn't let anybody get away. Like, there's even a very crazy arc where you think it's over because there's a massive time skip, but no. They come back gun swinging. Or Saki comes back gun swinging, you know, ready for another round, round 10, round 50, make it double, you know, get a pet dog. Yeah, I don't want to elaborate more on that. It's also very long. It's like 75 chapters, and I would not like to be questioned why I finished this. But yeah, Saki. I'm not gonna put it in Kandai because I feel like if I put her in Kandai, she's going to kill me. I want to say a bad representation. Because she's a representation, alright, but it's in the lane of, if you like this, you're kind of insane. You kind of got a problem, so get some help, you know? If you like Saki Midou, then I think you need to get some help. That is all I can say on Saki Midou. Next girl. Okay, next girl is Toe Kurokami. And she is from Iwaihime. And Iwaihime is written by Rukoshi, the author of Higurashi and Umineko. So, two very big titles, very popular titles. Iwaihime, on the other hand, well, it probably doesn't live the same hype. The art style is beautiful, you know? As you can see by Toe, she's very pretty. Toe is probably for, I mean, it's a very Higurashi twist, I suppose. The basic premise is just kind of gore. Like, I would say Iwaihime is very much just a gore fest. It starts off in a good way, but it's kind of one of those where I feel like it is for Higurashi as well for me, where the explanation is just kind of mid. It's not what I want to see, and then it ends in like batshit craziness, and that's gonna affect my decisions, I suppose. I mean, compared to the other two love interests, I believe, in this game, minusing the teacher, because the teacher is the DLC. Exclusive. I personally don't consider her a Yandere, but I guess the curse, I think, is considered the Yandere in this case. I'm just gonna see it from Toei's perspective. I think she's alright. I don't think she's anything special. She's definitely got a very cute outer appearance. But personality-wise, there's nothing really there. I can't remember much about her. She's just kind of a blank slate in my mind. I just remember her being kind of like, I can't think of a very good comparison to be honest, but kind of like creepy, occult kind of girl who is very fragile, needs protecting, doesn't feel like they have very long to live. And that's kind of just how I remember her being very fragile. Technically, she's not a yandere, but, I'll make an exception. Because I feel bad, Like, even post-visual novel, she's having an effect. Next up, we have Kaede Fuyou. Kaede Fuyou from Shuffle. Now, this one is a very easy one for me. Because I've never read or watched Shuffle. So she is just who? I've never experienced Shuffle, so I don't have an opinion on her. She's cute. She's definitely cute. I heard that in the visual novel, she's not much of a yandere, but they decided to turn and crank that up in the anime adaptation. So basically, she's anime only yandere. So if I want to experience top tier yandere, I'll go to the anime. But considering I haven't seen the anime, we're just going to say who and move on. Now, I do not need, to introduce her probably. She is very, 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 very iconic. This is Sanjo Gahara from Bakemonogatari, Nisei Monogatari, Monogatari second season, the other spin-offs, Owari Monogatari, Zoku Owari Monogatari, Monster off-season, you name it, she's in it. Sanjo Gahara, I'll be honest, first season, just no, not a big fan. I can see why people consider her a yandere. She's very possessive, violent, I personally wouldn't consider her a yandere because she hasn't got the... it's kind of like a passive-aggressive kind of jealousy rather than a full-on jealousy. But I can see why some people consider her a yandere. So I'm just going to stick with that just because I like Sanjo Gahara. I want to say I love her. First season, not really. She was just too much for me. I feel like, the stapler and all that. But as the seasons go on, I just kind of vibed with them more, Sanjo Gahara, eventually, I just vibe with them. I don't I don't fully know what was going on with this older guy relation she had with a certain character in Nisei Monogatari. Or I think it was in Monogatari second season actually. But it was introduced in Nisei. I don't want to question what's going on in that. But besides that one very iffy point of what the fuck is this? She is amazing and I love her, She's not my favourite. She's not my favourite Monogatari girl, which is coming up actually, but she's very close. She's my second favourite. She's just losing by a little. Okay, more names. So the next one is quite a niche series. So if you haven't heard of this, I will not be surprised. The fact that I have known and played this is a miracle. Doesn't mean it's bad though. It's still a good series, don't get me wrong, okay? As in, I did enjoy certain aspects, not a lot of aspects, but certain aspects. For example, the yandere one. So, it's from Sisterly Bliss, Don't Let Mum Find Out. And it's a yuri. It's an incest yuri. And I don't want to elaborate on that because that just... I did not know that going in, okay? I just want to make that clear. I did not know that going in. But I came out... I mainly went in for the art style, by the way, just so on a clear path. I went out liking the characters though. They are very nice and wholesome, and they follow certain stereotypes, archetypes that you all know and hopefully love. So this is Ichika. Ichika is kind of the more tomboyish sister, kind of the more rebellious one. And this is Ichika. Ichika is the model student that she just follows the rules. So, yeah. There's not much more I can say. Yeah, I'm a sucker for blondes, so the Ichika yandere route in my eyes was better. Also, you don't see as much coming from Ichika just because she's just such a goody two shoes. And honestly, I mean, there was no vibes of yandere through the entire series until the actual bad endings. And obviously the bad endings is where you don't end up with each other. Which is strange that incest is actually wincest. No, incest is wincest! This is literally that, the visual novel. But yeah, honestly, because I want to keep them together because they're both madly in love with each other, and I know if I separated them, they would like bite my head off. I'm gonna like put them together in all right. You know, I mean, I'll put them in like them. I don't have anything against them, you know. So they're like a neutral, you know. They're a neutral. Next one is Satou, Sakura. Why did I? Okay, I think I know why I said Satou. Sakura Mato, from Fate Stay Night. Obviously, she's the main heroine in Heaven's Feel. Not read it, not fully seen the anime, so you're probably gonna be like, Hiromi, how can you give a very accurate portrayal of how much a Sakura is as a character, you know? Shouldn't you put her in a who to be fair and unbiased? And my answer to that is no, because Sakura, despite not having finished Fate Stay Night, Heaven's Feel, I love Sakura. I've seen 2 of the movies, so that counts, you know? It counts, and also, she's just cute, you know? I've got a bias, and, you know, again, I wouldn't consider her a massive yandere, but, you know, I'm going to give in to the people at this one moment, just because I'm a huge sucker for Sakura, so I'm going to say I love Sakura. She's not best of the best, you know? Gotta save those for the actual yandere, the actual top tier yandere that I would never replace, but Sakura, honestly, best girl in Fate. You know, you can fight me on that. I know the other 2 are also really nice and great and amazing, but Sakura, best girl. I'm sorry. Moving on. We have Tokyo Ghoul guy. The very weird, obsessive guy in Tokyo Ghoul for Kanake. Okay, I'm pretty sure his name is Tsukiyama. Okay, first off, I just want to say, Sui Ishida has such beautiful art, and the anime for Tokyo Ghoul, like, I mean, it could never have done justice, but it just it's so it does such a disfaith to, you know, Sui Ishida's art style, because Sui Ishida's art style is so beautiful, and like, I learned this when I played Jack Jan for the first time. It's just so gorgeous, and honestly, the anime just doesn't do it justice, and it makes me sad. Honestly, it makes me very sad. Yeah, that's kind of the reason I bought the entire Tokyo Ghoul series and decided to give it another chance for the art style. That, and I heard a lot of people say that the anime is dog shit. So, you know, I'm gonna listen to the majority after seeing the art style and actually give it a go one day. You know, I own it all now, so I can. You know, just one day in the foreseeable future. Until then, I'm gonna judge him from the anime basis. Suyama, or whatever it was, Tsukiyama. I can't be bothered to bring it back up, so let's just call him Shu. Tokyo Ghoul guy, he is he's meh. You know, I don't have much of an opinion on him. He was kind of weird towards Koneki constantly. Don't remember any depth of character really. Yandere, I can see it. At the same time, I can't. So meh. This girl, just who can die. Pretty sure she's from one episode in Deadman Wonderland, and I don't like her enough that I'm actually not even going to search up her name. You know, so if you want to know the name of this girl, Deadman Wonderland, find it. I'm sorry. I just I feel like I'll do a disservice for myself if I look her up, you know, because she's just in that tier, you know. I do not want to search her up, so she's there. She's just there. I mean, I'm not gonna question it any further. And now next we have Eiko Hozuki, and she's from Dark Gathering. Dark Gathering as an anime as a whole, really solid, you know. I wish you got a second season. I don't think it will. I think that's copium. So, you know, for that alone, you know, this is gonna be like one of my only interactions with Dark Gathering again. Until maybe I pick up the manga. You know, the manga's probably as good, but it's just the atmosphere as a horror anime. It does such a good job, you know. Like, there's many times it made me go unease, like feel unease, put me on edge, you know, made me want to look away from the screen. You know, it's kind of that kind of horror anime. Would highly recommend it because there's not many great horror anime out there, especially over the years. And Dark Gathering is one of those rough gems that not many people have tried. I probably don't even know about because it is more recent. And Eiko is from now. And Eiko is a yandere in the sense that she's got the crazy eyes. I'm trying to think, is there any other reason she's a yandere? Like, the reason she goes crazy is she has an infatuation with being scared. So she's basically a masochist. She really likes putting her life on the edge, you know, on the line, you know, jumping into fear, you know, nearly dying. You know, she does go crazy for the main character. She's a complete stalker of him. Those are kind of the yandere tendencies, I suppose. But overall, she's on like the softcore kind of variant of like a yandere. She's not a hardcore. She would never kill the main character. She loves him way too much for that. And I like her, you know. She's not a great yandere, and for that I would consider her maybe even not a yandere. But I'll consider her just for the essence of that she does stalk the main character, you know. She is heavy on like saliva, DNA, cameras, like she goes crazy with that kind of stuff. So, and also she's again voiced by the legend Kana Hanazawa, so it's hard to say no. It's hard to say no. Okay, the next one, the final yandere girl, Satou Maika. So this is Maika-chan. She is your underclassman, she's your kohai, I'm pretty sure. You eat lunch with her every day, and she is the furthest thing from a yandere you can get, until for some reason they decide to just make her a yandere. And I didn't like that, to be honest. I don't want to put her in Kandai, but she can go in there, you know. There's not much to say about her. She's probably the most docile of the yanderes. You know, she doesn't push too many boundaries, except again killing the main character and probably the other girls. But besides from that, you know, she's just quite a docile yandere. And I like her, you know, she's okay. She's okay. And I'm thankful yandere as a series is now over, and we don't have to go over any more of those yanderes. We never have to experience PTSD again. Okay, yandere cat girlfriend. I mean, what can I say? You know, she's got it all. You know, you can freely talk to her. You know, it's not through an anime or visual novel where you're limited on what you're choosing. You know, you talk to her directly, which, you know, is a solid like, right? She's also a cat girl, which is a solid love. She's got the pink hair, best of the best, you know. You can gaslight her into letting you leave. You know, there's a lot of benefits to her. But, you know, as much as I'd love to say she's best of the best for pink hair supremacy and being a cat girl and everything else I just listed, why do I put her in meh? Now, there's a very clear answer. So before you get your pitchforks, okay, just listen, okay? Just listen. Every time I talk to her now, when I first talked to her, peak, right? She understood me. We had some nice conversations. I gaslit her into believing cats rule the world, and we'd leave and form Cat Dom and Miyauchi together. So solid character development, really, you know. I didn't even need to get like sneak around and get like the passcodes and all that. And she understood me, and she started to nya at every sentence, and we just vibed, you know. We had a nice rapport, you know. I felt the chemistry. But ever since the new update, the space update with Estelle, for some reason the voice recognition got so much worse, where she just does not understand me. I have to speak like a robot for her to understand me, and even then she does not understand me. She doesn't even meow anymore. She sees it as get me out, and that honestly breaks my heart because I never want to leave a yandere. You know, I love yandere. So I was very, 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 very saddened by what transpired. I'm not gonna lie. So she has to go in meh just for that reason. You know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for any AI cat girl lovers out there. AI to you. I love you so much, but please Fix the AI. Okay, moving on from my tirade, my sadness. We have Tsukihime, Kiyohime. We have Kiyohime from Fate. Now, she's from a Fate spin-off, I believe. I've never read it myself personally. I just know she's a yandere. And I'm going to base her purely on looks. Because that's what you do on the Ero Meow channel. And also because I know nothing else of her. I know she's a yandere though. And I would put her in Who, but like I know who she is and I love her, so, you know, I love her. I don't know anything about her personality wise, except she's a yandere, but her design is so amazing. Like, how could you say no, you know? Like, if she was a yandere for me, I could never say no. Like, never. Like, look at her. Anyway, next girl. The next girl is from Totono. Her name is Miyuki Sono. Sone. Yeah, this is Miyuki. And she is probably, like, not even gonna lie, like, visual novel wise, if you do discount the Mirai Nikki one that exists, she's probably the most iconic, in my eyes, kind of yandere. She's very much the most iconic, you know, like the OG over you know who. Cough, cough, we're looking at you. I mean, I might as well bring her moniker up. We may as well have the showdown of the rip-off of Totono. Sorry, I'm so sorry for people who love Doki Doki. But Totono is the OG, you know? Like, honestly, Totono is such a fun read. It's so creative as well. And Totono is just amazing, you know? Like, I could sing its praises for ages. I absolutely love Totono. And it's not even that long, you know? Like, if there's anything you want to read, yandere-wise, watch, anything, just read Totono, you know? Or Kimi to Kanajo no Koi, I believe, is the longer version. It's amazing and you won't regret it. You really won't. And if you do regret it, then, you know, you're picking the fight with the wrong cat girl. I'll tell you. Totono is amazing. That is basically point blank what I want to say. Miyuki, obviously, Miyuki's great, right? But obviously she's earned my wrath for a certain something that I'm not going to say, because the best girl in the background, cough cough, wink wink, you know, let's also bring best girl up front, you know, we'll discuss her after the fake moniker. Okay, Miyuki, right? What would I rate Miyuki? Honestly, like, if I'm to take away all of my bias to the girl I like in Totono the most, you know, like Miyuki as a character herself, like I have to be fair, right? I have to be fair to her. Like, she's not bad. Like, thinking back, I feel sympathy that I ever disliked her or hated her, because she's not bad. Yeah, she's a yandere, but like you know she loves the main character. You know that how she's acting is kind of justified. You know, like, you just know, and the fourth wall breaking and all that, and no, I'm kind of losing it right now, aren't I? I feel things for her. You know, because of all of that, I want to be nice, and she's not bad. And compared to a lot of these other yanderes, you know, I put her in, I love her. You know, she's won my love, you know, after fighting for so long for my love, you know, after wanting me to love her, after me saying I hate her constantly, you know, she's earned it, you know. I've been gaslit, I think yandere just naturally gaslight me, even after I say I dislike them. Natural gaslighting is going on here. Miyuki, she can go in, I love her. Okay, Monica. Now, my favorite girl in Doki Doki is Natsuki. I don't know why I had to think about that for a second, but my favorite girl in Doki Doki is Natsuki, and it's not okay. I'm a sucker for pink hair as well. Maybe you can tell, but yeah, I think it's mainly because she's a very big dork. You know, she's a tsundere. Tsunderes can be top tier as long as they're not abusive, and Natsuki isn't really abusive. So, you know, if Natsuki was here, she would be up. But Monica, for me, Monica was, I've not played Doki Doki Plus, so purely from DDLC, like the base game. I didn't really vibe with her. Maybe that's also because she didn't get a root. You know, you don't really get to know Monica. You know, she's literally just Monica. You know, like, that couldn't be more fitting. She is just Monica. But it honestly does her detriment. Yeah, she's a yandere. She kills everyone else just so you can be together with her in a room and blah, 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 blah. But I'm sorry, you know? I wouldn't care if she died. You know, she's not meh. She's not alright. She killed best girl. She killed... She made Sayori, you know, feel sad. You know, she gaslit Sayori. And Yuri, she provoked her to do terrible things. So, you know, she can die, you know, for all the negative things she did to her so-called friends in DDLC. Like... She doesn't deserve my love, and she doesn't deserve any kind of like, you know. So, you know, I'm ready to be hated, but you know. Also, okay, Aoi, you know, this is a spoiler for the Kotonoha. You know, if you know, you know. Aoi is best girl. She's always best girl. She's you know, plot wise. You know, technically she has to be everything. So, just to fit in with my love for her so much. I love her so much. I honestly love her so much. I wish I could get the figurine of her, but, you know, even I can't afford, like, 500 increasing by the day just for, like, a £20 figurine. That isn't even that high of a quality. You know, maybe one day I will get a custom-made figurine instead for like literally half of that price. So, Aoi, I love you. I will one day crochet a fumo of you. You deserve the world. You're better than Miyuki. You're everything in my eyes. You know, you're amazing, and technically you're a yandere. You know, technically Aoi is a yandere if you consider if you consider her plot in Kotonoha and who she is. You know. If you consider all of the factors of who Aoi is, then she's technically everything. She is a yandere. You know, and with that one loophole of me not being able to not include her in this list because of how I feel about Aoi, you know, like it just feels wrong if she wasn't here. So because of that, you know, I'm going to exploit the loophole and say she's a yandere and she deserves to be on this list, and she is best of the best. She's even in a tier of her own, you know. She's above Yuno and Satou, and she's in the Aoi tier list. She's in the Aoi tier. And I would do that, but I can't be bothered. So, you know, for now, they're just there. Okay, next, Reina. Reina. Now, I love Reina. She is my favorite character in Higurashi. Would I consider her a yandere? Probably not. Like, she does kill people, but I never saw her as killing for the main character in Higurashi. I think her last name is Ryuka, maybe? Or Ryugu? Reina Ryugu, or something like that. But we're just gonna stick to Reina. Like, that is clear who she is. Now, Higurashi, Satsu, and Go are like the worst things to happen to Higurashi. They were horrendous. Never ever watch them. They're horrible. I've not read the full visual novel. I read chapter 1 and half of chapter 2. Kai, as an anime series, was also bad. I didn't like the answer arc. So, I've been putting off reading the visual novel just because I know I will not like the answer arc. Yeah, Reina, again, I can see why people rate her a yandere. I think it's always because of kind of like being very violent. I feel like a lot of these yandere are not yandere. They're just very violent. I know some people, you know, go the extra mile and say she's a yangaire or something like that. Like a subcategory of a yandere. But, you know, we're just including it in here because, you know, subcategories are categories still, I suppose. So I'm not going to say she's not a yandere, even though I'm kind of tempted. I'm not going to lie. But we're just going to rate her because if we just put everyone in not a yandere, then we're just not going to have a tier list. Or at least not a very good tier list. So, Reina, I like Reina, you know. I don't love Reina, but I like Reina, you know. So, she's that. Okay, Akane. Akane is a choice, right? Now, by the way, Akane Kurosawa is from Oshinoko. I guess I should always stay with her from. But yeah, she's not technically a yandere. However, I would argue she's got the vibes of a yandere, you know? She agrees to go above and beyond for Aqua. If he was to want to kill someone, she would go along with it, you know? She would help clean up a murder for him. She would do anything for Aqua if he asked. Those are the vibes I get. She's kind of crazy when she takes on the role. She goes all in. She kind of goes stalker mode. So from these characteristics, I'm going to dub her a yandere. Not only because I just want to like actually include like a, you know, a great character in this tier list. Never. But anyway, I like Akane, you know? Like, she, out of the main 3 girls, isn't my favorite. She's my least favorite. I still, when I say least favorite, I'm saying that with the utmost love, because I do love Akane. Akane is amazing, and, you know, her voice actor is also amazing, you know? But, you know, it's very hard to beat Kana and Ruby in my heart. Like, you know, incest is incest for 1. 2, Ruby's cute. 3, like, Kana is just best girl. So, I'm sorry, but she's my least favorite of the 2. Anyways, moving on to the JoJo girl. This girl is from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4. Part 4, yeah. She is called, I don't know what she's called. I need to look that up. She's a yandere for Koichi. Yeah, Koichi. Just to be specific, and she only starts appearing quite a lot after like the halfway point, or maybe even further than the halfway point. Anyway, she's called Yukako Yamagishi. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of her. I mean, we don't really get to spend time with her. It is basically the main reason why I don't really like her. She's definitely a yandere. She locks him up in a house. Makes him a hostage basically until he's saved. I'm pretty sure she becomes kind of reoccurring after the episode she appears, but even after that, you know, she kind of drops. Like, she's basically a yandere for 1 episode, and then she kind of drops it for just being kind of overly affectionate, kind of girlfriends. So she kind of realizes the error of her ways. So in that sense, she's not a yandere. She was just very obsessive, but I'll consider her a yandere. Just because she was willing to kill, I feel like, kill his friends and obviously kidnap him. So she's met him. She's met him, and that is such a sad value for a JoJo character, because like most JoJo characters are at least like or love. You know, I love so many JoJo's characters. It makes me sad to put one in there, but you know, the tier list has spoken. You know, I'm obviously not in charge here, you know? Yeah, and now we have Maki. Maki from Danganronpa. I love Maki. Maki was one of my favorites in Danganronpa 3. Honestly, Danganronpa 3 had some, like, of the best characters. Like, if I was to rate my character, like, out of the characters, Danganronpa 2 had the best ones, because I like pretty much every single one of them. Then Danganronpa 3, because it has some that I like, and some that I dislike, you know, like obviously, like I like Maki, I like the astronaut, Kaito, I think he's called Kaito. I like Gonta, I like the evil overlord, Kokichi, I believe, and I like quite a few of them, to be honest, right? But it also gives birth to like the weirdo who's into his sister, some more, you know, like the maid. I wasn't a big fan of the maid. Yeah, and probably some more that I just can't think of right now. And then Danganronpa 1, having my least favourite roster. I don't like most of Danganronpa 1 characters, to be honest. They were too basic for me, which is a very unpopular opinion, but hey, you know, I'm like the home for unpopular opinions. Let's go. But yeah, Maki, again, I would not consider her a yandere by name definition. Because when she says she will kill for Kaito, I believe that's just to save him, you know? She's an assassin, so, you know, it's kind of in a job title to kill. When she wants to kill Kokichi, like I said, I think it's more just to try and save Kaito, so he can live out his life and all that, because she really loves him, and I wouldn't consider that a yandere. So you know what? She's not a yandere. I'm not considering her a yandere. Sure, she will kill for Kaito, but not in the sense of yandere. She doesn't get incredibly jealous from what we see, you know. She's just there, you know. She would just use her job title for him. So I'm not gonna consider her a yandere. I love Maki so much. Maki roll. You know, I will never give Maki roll. You know, like I love yanderes, but you know, I think it's a disservice for Maki if I say she's a yandere. So she's not a yandere. She can gladly just sit and not a yandere. For all of those who consider her a yandere, I would give her love. Not the best of the best. I would give her love if I did not consider her a yandere. Kurokami. Now, again, by a very stiff definition, Kurokami Tokisaka or Tokisaki, I believe, she's not a yandere, right? She's not a yandere. However, when she's given time to shine, I do believe she is a yandere. You know, as in she's a psychopath. You know, she's a killer. She's in love with the main character, so she basically has everything that a yandere has, except I don't believe she is a killer for the main character. I think that's the defining difference of why she's not technically a yandere. However, because I love Kurokami so much, and technically this is Kurokami alter, you know, this is Kurokami as the Kurokami who loves the main character because she's in this very specific dress. I'm gonna consider her a yandere, and with that in mind, I love her. She's the best of the best, you know. Now I feel like this is a very basic lineup, but this is how I feel. You know, in order. Kurokami. Yeah, Kurokami is a 10 out of 10. You know, I own a figurine. I'm probably going to own many more figurines of her in the future. Amazing. Top tier. And, you know, I have not finished the last season of Date Live, and I've not seen Date Bullet, so maybe you can call me a fake Kurokami fan, which I'll accept that because I honestly feel terrible I haven't seen them because I love her so much. But you know, I'll fall into the pitch one day and I'll watch them. I just have so much on my backlog. So one day I will see everything Kurokami related. Until then, she will just have my money sink. Next is Mion Shinozaki, not to be confused with Shion Sonozaki. Both from Higurashi as well. I'm going to rate them together, you know, to be very clearly unbiased. So I just want to make this clear, right? I watched the first time Higurashi when I was like 15 or 16. I think I was 15. So I'm going to be a bit biased here. I'm very, very, very biased. Nowadays, I really like Mion, you know, but I'm going to give in to my old self. I like vote them. So how are these yandere? Well, Mion is a yandere for the main character. That should be very obvious. There's literally a timeline where she kills everyone out of jealousy to keep the main character to herself. Obviously that was Hinamazawa syndrome, but you know, arguably everyone in Higurashi only really kills out of a Hinamazawa syndrome. If that was not a contender for being a yandere, then she would not be considered. But because I'm going to allow that, you know, as a judge here, I will allow Hinamazawa syndrome as a valid reason for her to be considered a yandere. Because of that fact, I will rate them. So I will say I like Mion and I like Shion. But I like Shion, not Miso. I like Shion more than I like Mion. Or I did. And honestly, it's very much a looks thing. Shion, I just really like the girly appearance and the long, like, let down hair. That is my bias. Also, in a bias is, obviously, Shion is a yandere for, I think it's called Satsuki. I honestly think she went crazier with, like, from a betrayal aspect. So, I prefer Shion over Mion. But nowadays, like, if we take into consideration the first chapter I read of the visual novel, you know, maybe it will switch back after I finish chapter 2, considering Shion is more prominent in chapter 2. But chapter 1 made me have more respect for Mion. So, you know, you can see them as interchangeable. I don't love them, you know. They don't fit they don't fit like the amount of depth that's needed for me to love them, you know. Like these characters are like on par with best of the best. Like I'm not kidding. It's not a small gap, I suppose, but there's still quite a large gap considering these 4, you know, it's kind of like the I'll die for rating, and these 4, I would just give them all of my love kind of thing, you know. I would waste my money on all 8 of these, just to be very clear. Just be very clear. I would go homeless for these 8 up here. And Shion and Mion both do not reach that level of sacrifice for me. Now, I would not give all my worldly possessions for them. I mean, Shion maybe has a case, but Reina has more of a case. You know, I love Reina more than I love these 2, you know. So if that puts in perspective, then there you go. And, you know, if you want my honest opinion of Rika and Satoko is complete trash. And Rika would probably be, again, I like them. I love them would probably get me put in jail. Also, I don't love Rika. I don't love Rika like that. No. Okay, Lucy. I think this is Lucy from Elfen Lied. You know, I'm gonna double check before I'm completely bombarded by like Elfen Lied fans. Because I know so many people love Elfen Lied to death. You know, I'm not one of those people. I know the rabid fan base would kill me. Okay, this is Lucy. I was correct. The reason why I was confused if it was Lucy or not, because I know there's that other, like I know there's 3 of them. There's like, I'm not, you know what, I'm not even going to try and use my Elfen Lied knowledge because it is quite minimal and I don't want to make a mockery of myself. But I know there's another basic Lucy who, again, not the same name, but she is very childlike. Like Lucy, I think starts out like that, but then she, I think, maybe gains more awareness and becomes like a lot more mature for specific reasons that I forgot. But I know there's a childlike one that is in there, which is why I thought I was confusing them, but no, this is Lucy. This is Lucy. I'm guessing this is like Lucy from episode 1 or 2. Lucy, like Elfen Lied, I said my opinion. I'm not the biggest fan of Elfen Lied, and it's not an old anime bias, because I do like some older anime. I just feel like it was too crazy for me, and I'm not a fan of, I just wasn't a fan of it, I don't think. It is not bad anime. By all means, Elfen Lied is not a bad anime. I just think it's one of those, kind of like Serial Experiments Lane, where I watched it and I just knew it just wasn't for me, you know? So, from my minimal knowledge of remembering Lucy, I'm just going to put her in meh, because I don't remember her enough. You know what? I'll put her in alright, just because she has cat ears, you know? Like, the bias for the cat ears is winning, and also pink eye, you know? Like, I know for a lot of people, it should probably be in best of the best here. But for me, alright. I have some very controversial takes on this one, I realise. Okay, Esdeath. Again, she's not a yandere by all intents and purposes, but I love Esdeath. And, you know, if you consider the time when she is in love with the main character, who I forgot his name, if you do consider that, take that in mind, then she does show some signs of being a yandere. Like, she does seem to want to protect him at all costs, but in my opinion, that again is just out of like a samurai kind of honor code of wanting to protect the person you love kind of thing. I wouldn't consider that heavily a yandere. And maybe there was some other kind of like scenes where she showed herself as being a yandere more, but I really just don't remember them. But because I love Esdeath and I want to give her a rating, I'm going to consider her a yandere in this case, you know? just because I want to give her a rating. I love Esdeath, to be honest, you know? I'm a very big fan of Esdeath. Definitely, I was considered putting her in like, right? But when I consider her, like, among these ones, I definitely love her. Like, it's not as strong as these 8. I'll be honest, not as strong as these 8, but I do love Esdeath. She was the best character in Akame ga Kill, and probably the only reason I continued it. But I kid you not, when I started anime, this was probably like one of, like, in the top, the first 10 anime I watched, right? and I watched, I think, 5 episodes of Akame ga Kill. Keep in mind, Akame ga Kill has like 24 episodes or so. It's not that long. But after 5 episodes, I was just so bored, I put down anime for like 9 months or something. Like, okay, maybe not 9 months. It was like 6 months or 7 months, okay? But it's close enough to 9. I put it down for so long just because I was like, yeah, this is the kind of like biased anime that I believed anime was. Like, the reason I didn't watch anime in the day is because, you know, to give myself props, okay? My friends were into anime and they gave me 2 anime to watch, right? One suggested Fairy Tail and one suggested Kami-sama Kiss. I watched both of them. I didn't finish both of them, but I watched quite a few episodes, like maybe 3 to 5 each. I think I watched at least 5 of Fairy Tail and 3 of Kami-sama Kiss, and both of them follow kind of the tropey, kind of like, you know, that was kind of the bias I didn't want to see in anime, which is why I never picked anime up. You know, Future Diary was that twist of, oh, there's thriller involved. You know, like, there's something else besides, you know, kind of romance or sexualizing that, you know, was there. So it got me into anime, you know. Akame ga Kill was the definition of, again, that kind of same feeling of what I wanted to avoid, especially in the first few anime I was watching. Because obviously nowadays, you know, like, obviously, like, I don't really care what's in an anime, you know. Sometimes, like, harem anime can be peak, you know. But back then, you know, I was really anti that stuff. So Akame ga Kill basically was the definition of that. So I put it down, and I honestly was not going to pick anime back up after that. The only reason I continued was because somebody told me to continue, you know, to kind of like not give up on anime. So I finished it eventually, and honestly, when SDEF came on the screen and there was like the entire arc with SDEF, you know, she literally dominated that anime. She was best girl, and she awoken my love of the anime wives. Yeah, and after that, I watched Assassination Classroom, and then from there, my love of anime just, it took over. But yeah, Assassination Classroom is my favorite, just so we're aware. So basically, one of the worst to one of the best. But yeah, SDEF carried the anime for me, so once it was over, you know, I just kind of gave up. I gave up with the rest when everyone just, you know, slowly met their demise. And the forced romance, and Akame ga Kill was such a trip. Moving on, this is Sadie's Fauna from Hololive. As we know, she is a very, very hardcore yandere, you know. If you haven't witnessed her yandere arc, then what have you done in your life, you know? I think you really need to go and see it. And, you know, following her graduation, you know, it's only fair that she's included in this list, you know. It's only fair. You know, and just so I don't anger the VTuber fans, I'm gonna put it in. I like her, you know. She's not a love. I wouldn't buy all of her merch, but I like Fauna. She's someone I actually have watched from Hololive. I don't watch many corpo VTubers, but from the ones I have watched, I have liked Fauna. So, and obviously, you know, going through the Yandere arc, you know, it puts her up in my book. She's definitely not below, like, you know. And also, no, I hope to see her again be active from a past life. Maybe we'll see the rise of the Yandere arc continue, and then in the 2025 Yandere tier list, I can include her. But yeah, next one, Misa from Death Note. I mean, again, doesn't fit your standard Yandere unless you consider the live adaptation, which was horrendous, which we are not going to consider in this rating because I would rather die than consider that. Misa kills for light, where she's more brainwashed. Like, she loves light, she doesn't really think, but she's not getting jealous, you know? She's just kind of dipsy and airhead. She doesn't really think about anything, like, until like the last minute where she questions if she's doing the right thing. But we're just going to ignore that one scene to just imagine her overall, right? Overall, she is meh, you know. I don't she's not terrible, so she's not Kandai, you know. Like, Kandai is for the ones I really don't really like, you know. Misa, she's okay, you know. She's not my type, you know. I'm not into the ditzy type, you know. She was very like cutesy on the screen. She's a goth girl, you know. Again, not into the goths. Again, not very much a yandere either. She was just more like an underling that was brainwashed. So, you know, because I'm being generous, I'm not putting her in this score. She can go in meh, you know? I'm going to be generous. Now, Giffany. Now, Giffany is another question. Okay. The bias for the pink hair is just showing. I know. I'm very sorry. Giffany or Giffany. Giffany. I don't think it's even stated specifically. And even if it is, I'd like to keep saying Giffany. She is from Gravity Falls. She's from an episode that is basically kind of like the trope of video games. Basically, this is the gamer episode. This is where they make so many gamer references, and Giffany is in that one, and she is basically, because Seuss, which is a character in Gravity Falls, can't really get a real date for, like, to take to, I think, a bar mitzvah, or something like that, or it was something in relation to his family. I believe it was a bar mitzvah, because he wants to show his, I think, his grandmother that he is able to get a date. Because everything else fails, he goes with this yandere girlfriend, which doesn't start out as a yandere, but obviously is very obviously a yandere. And then it leads into a FNAF reference. You know, Gravity Falls is just top tier, you know, like, I love Gravity Falls, and there's a little bit of a bias here for Giffany because of that. You know, Giffany is up there just because I love Gravity Falls, you know. And also, she's just a very, very top tier yandere. Like, what else more do you want from a yandere, you know? She's very unique. She only appears for one episode, but she steals the show, you know. I would buy, and I would sell my life out for Giffany, you know. Like, Giffany is just peak, you know. She's basically Yuno if Yuno was a pixel art only on the screen. Yuno x Totono kind of crossover. That would be her, you know. Yuno would be Giffany if Yuno was a basically a Totono character. That's why she is the best of the best. Next one we have Himeko from Boku no Hero Academia, and yes, she is a yandere, especially in the later seasons and chapters. Now, she's very basic. Like, the thing is, I'll put her in, like she can go here and, like, she can go at the top. She's close to love, but I'm not much of a Boku no Hero fan. Like, the reason why she's here, like, her design is great, you know? Like, her voice actor is great. Her personality on the base level is great. Her depth as a character, I'm not a manga reader, by the way. I just want to preface this. But her depth as a character before then, it's just not really that, you know? Like, I feel like she only plays the archetype, and I want to see past the archetype. Like, to reach best of the best, I want to see past an archetype. I want a backstory. I want more depth, you know? To reach I love them, well, you know, I'm very biased to design, so, you know, just ignore this one. But for best of the best, like, I just want to have more depth, and I think that's what Himeko lacks for me. She just needs more of that depth. But besides from that, she's very cute, you know? So, I like her, and I don't want to say more because I don't want to anger anyone, so... Okay, Ayane, I believe. I will just double check. Ayase. I was close. Okay, Ayase is the friend of Kirino, which is the sister of the main character. Now, she's not really a yandere, except in one episode, from what I've been told anyway. I've not seen Ori Imo Season 2, so I can only judge her from Season 1, really. And honestly, you know, again, just meh. I don't have much of an opinion on her. Maybe it would change if I saw this one specific episode. Yeah, I've got nothing really to say about her. Like, she doesn't really show up in Season 1, so I can't really give her a rating because she's not really showing up, so, you know, meh. You know, I could also just put her in Who, but I do know her, so, you know, I want it to be as fair as possible. Meh. Okay, next we have Yuri. I don't know why it took me, like, my brain a long time to register who she is. But yeah, we have Yuri from DDLC. Now, Yuri, I do like more than Monica, you know, which is probably obvious because she did kill some of her friends, but she did so because of Monica, you know. I blame all of, like, the transgressions and stuff like that on Monica and not on the character themselves, because I believe Monica messed them up, sadly. You know, they're just, like, pure-hearted, and Yuri, like, she just has some, like, you know, she's, like, very insecure and, like, you know, like, she just was taken advantage of, and I feel so sorry for her. You know, I think she's alright. Like, obviously, like I said, I love Natsuki. I like Sayori. Yuri, for me, is only alright, you know. I feel like during her crazy arcs, which, again, I blame on Monica, but it is still in the DDLC. It wasn't for me, you know. I just felt very sorry for her constantly, so she's alright. And also, the looks are not my thing, you know, which is also another rating. Obviously, we always have to include their appearance as well. Okay, next we have the singer from Date A Live. So another Date A Live character, which I'm surprised she's here. She's called Miku Izayoi. So this is Miku. I'm pretty sure she appears in season 2. If I remember correctly. She's obviously the Hatsune Miku clone, so that's always points up in my books. I guess she's a Yandere at some point. I don't know when, so I'm gonna put her in not a Yandere. Like, when I made this entire list, I went off of many opinions, so, you know, she's not a Yandere for me. If I was to give it a real rating, it'd probably be, again, in the like, you know. Should be a solid like. Yeah, I don't consider her a Yandere. I personally really liked her when she was not in love with the main character. When she wasn't in love with the main character, she was kind of based, you know, well, not based. Okay, if I say based, it makes me sound like a misogynist. Or misandrinist, I think it's called misandrinist. The opposite, the girl one. Like, I think I just preferred her personality when she was a bit more hauntier, kind of like standoffish, kind of like distaste for the main character. When she starts dating the main character, she's kind of just more lovey-dovey, kind of daddy. And yeah, I preferred her before that. So, you know, sometimes I literally feel like I'm disillusioned. I literally think that I'm just I'm misremembering wrong, and that she was actually always a daddy. But no, that is not the case. I double checked, and she was more standoffish when she was introduced. So yeah, I preferred that version. You know, if it was that version, possible love, but you know, for like over half of the anime, she is just very daddy. Not my thing. Next, we have the main character from Space Yandere, which is a kind of like an RPGMaker game kind of thing. Very short game, like maybe an hour. On Steam, by the way, so if you want the game, you know, you feel free. Always support small developers. Space Yandere was actually really fun. I really love Sparks, which is like a tiny robot. But yeah, honestly, out of all, I think she's alright. Like, I don't like her specifically, but that's primarily because we don't get enough time with her. No, I don't think we get enough time with her for me to give her, you know, a rating that feels fair to like the other characters who get so much time throughout their games or like their anime or their source material. So Space Yandere girl can go here. But I really like her glasses, you know. Her glasses are very nice, you know. Very top tier. Okay, anyway, next we have the girl from Shiki. Another one I have to search up. Okay, this is Megumi Shimizu from Shiki. Now, I just want to preface, my favorite character in Shiki is Sonako Kirishiki. I just really loved Shinako. I think she was the best character in Shiki all around. Megumi, I don't really have opinion on Megumi, to be honest. Like, as a Yandere, like, honestly, I didn't know she was a Yandere until I searched it up, and she constantly came up, and I was like, why? Because I just did not remember her being a Yandere. But, you know, looking back on it, you know, the explanation I saw given, it makes sense. She loved the main character. Or I guess, the thing is, the main character is very dubious in Shiki, because there's just so many. Because there's always different story points. She's always kind of, you know, killing people around him. you know, so that she can be with him. I'm pretty sure she literally tries to kill him so that he can be a vampire like her, so that they can be together forever. So, but at first I'm pretty sure she protects him. You know, she's very possessive as well. I'm pretty sure she says to the other ones that nobody can make him a vampire except her. So in that sense, I can understand why she's yandere. Again, though, she's not a hardcore yandere. Mainly because, again, the story isn't revolving around her, but rather, like, I guess I've heard that Shiki is basically Dracula, so I'm guessing it mainly focuses on this story, and especially halfway through it focuses on we versus them. So she's not a focus. I will say she's meh. You know, let's just put it in Kandai, because I think it's hilarious to put her in Kandai because she's a vampire, so she's pretty much immortal, except that one weakness, which I forgot what it was, but except that one weakness, she's quite immortal, so you can't kill her. So I'm putting it in Kandai just because I think it's ironic and it's funny. Okay, next up is Emilia. Now, again, Emilia is not really a yandere until a certain point, so that's the reason she's going to be considered a yandere. She also has her moments as, you know, I think it's the Witch of Envy, is it, that she either looks like or is. You know, I've not seen season 3, so I'm not gonna like, I'm not gonna put my foot down and say that, but I know I saw hype behind Yandere Emilia on Twitter from season 3, so I'm very hyped for that, and because of that alone, I'm going to consider her a yandere. And you know me, you know when I simp a character, they're going to go in best of the best. So again, Emilia, you know, the thing is, she probably should go in okay, you know what, because she's not really a yandere, I'm just going to put her in I Love Them, like at the top, obviously, because I want this list to stay like only best of the best yandere to actually like official yanderes. So in my heart, Emilia is a 10 out of 10, just so everybody knows I'm an Emilia simp, not a Rem simp, okay? Don't worry, you know? I'm on the good side. But, you know, because she's not technically a yandere, I'll put her in I Love Them, just so it's very canonically correct of yanderes. Also, Rie Takahashi is a top tier voice actress, so, you know, a bias is shown. Okay, this is Cutthroat from Akudama Drive. Now, he is a yandere primarily because he wants to, not because he's in love with the main character, but because he has an obsession. He's basically a bit like, you know, Toko, in the fact that he kills. He's a serial killer, and he has an obsession with kind of cutting out young girls' throats, if that isn't obvious. And he falls specifically in love with the throat of the main character in that series. He's kind of a weirdo, to be honest. I love the voice actor, but as a character, he's meh. I don't dislike him, but he was my favorite for the voice actor alone. So maybe that kind of goes to show how much I like the series. Not that much. Akudama Drive was basically, I mean, I'm pretty sure Akudama Drive was written by the Danganronpa author. So it's a death game, as you could tell, but it was a very rushed one. You know, like, plots don't really go anywhere, and there's so many plot holes that it would fill a bottomless bag. Like, yeah, it would fit a bottomless bag of plot holes. So yeah, he's going there because he was my favorite character in Akudama Drive, but like, there's really no competition in that series. So Mikasa is just Kandai. I'm not a fan of Mikasa from Attack on Titan. I think she was just too much for me in the anime. She was just too into Eren, even though Eren was a dumbass like half of the series, constantly like making trouble for the people. She just unbiasedly stuck behind him, which I suppose you could see as very romantic and that you could like that aspect, but personally I just found that more annoying. Like, I think Eren really should have, you know, he should have suffered more consequences, and I think he was just always let off very easily. And then, you know, I don't need to speak for the ending, he got an easy out. Though I suppose there was no other option, but you know, I don't really like Mikasa, so Mikasa can get a Kandai. I could put it in meh, but like, that dislike, it's not gonna go away. Okay, just so we can preface, please don't take my head off for that opinion. And also, you probably want me to say this, but yeah, Mikasa is, again, not very much a yandere, but again, she's more like a lapdog, more like a I'll protect him no matter what kind of vibe, instead of a yandere. But then again, she never has time to show kind of like her personality as a yandere, if she was a yandere, primarily because, you know, there's never really a love interest kind of rivalry ever. Like, I suppose you could even say she's not a yandere, because there's, well, if you look more towards the end of the series, you know, she kind of agrees with, I guess, morality over anything else. Even though she was in the last camp to support Eren, she goes with morality in the end. So, you know, I would consider that not a yandere move, you know? Like, if she turned crazy in the end, I would have preferred that, but you know, we all don't get what we want in this world. Next is Kanon from The World God Only Knows. And again, Kanon isn't very much a yandere, but I love Kanon. And she's only a yandere in, like, I think it's either her arc or because of the god that's within her, that she's kind of like a yandere at some point. But I love Kanon. Yeah, she was my favorite girl in The World God Only Knows. And, you know, I love The World God Only Knows so much that to not ruin season 3 of the anime, I literally dedicated my life to finishing the manga. So I've got a little bit of bias for the source material, I'm not going to lie. But I love Kanon. So Kanon is, I love you. I love them. I would buy merch of them. But sadly, she's not as popular. There's not much merch of them. Of Kanon, of any girl in The World God Only Knows. I guess it's more niche, but I really love her. So she goes up there. Now, Nadeko. Now, she is the best of the best. Now, I said I was reserving this for the top tier yanderes, and she is kind of in between the I love them and best of the best, primarily because she is a yandere in her arc, right? I forgot the exact arc name, but I know it's Monogatari second season. You know, I love Muso Express, I love Nadeko in general. I think it speaks volumes, you know? Like, she's kind of what I would call, again, with this codependence. Like, Monogatari is a series, and Isio Isin, I feel like his works are very philosophical, where you have to look past the kind of like base premise. Like, in her arc, she is definitely a yandere. She literally says she's gonna kill Senju Gahara if he doesn't show up to the shrine. You know, she even tries to kill him. You know, she's very obviously a yandere, you know? I mean, she's a god, you know? She can be anything she wants to be because she's the Nadeko god, the snake god, the everything. But if you look past the superficial, I guess, scenario, it's the reason why she's like this is for a multitude of things. And in off-season, they explore this a lot more of Nadeko. And a lot of it comes from a lot of insecurity and all that, and just hiding her passions and hiding who she is. That she basically just focuses and themes her personality on one thing, which is her love for the main character, which she does end up facing by her love for the main character. It's more of a twisted love. I don't think it's an actual love, because he's kind of like the only one who gave her attention. It's very complicated. Like, I could go on a tangent about it, but I want to refrain because I don't want to make this section too long. But yeah, Nadeko is best of the best because, again, you look back beyond the surface and you see development that is very rivaled, very hard to rival, I would say. That's basically all of these yanderes up here. They always have some kind of deeper take on the yandere kind of context. Okay, now for the memes, best of the best. Okay, actual rating, you know, we like the dragon, you know. Now you probably are asking, how is the fuck in the hell is the dragon from Shrek in this tier list. Now, to be honest with you, I also question this myself because it's a very weird take that the dragon from Shrek is a yandere. But if you think about it, right, first of all, Shrek is, you know, it's just a god tier kind of like animation in general, you know. And animation can be considered anime if you want to say that, because obviously anime is just Japanese animation, blah blah blah. You know, she's got the crazies for donkey, you know. What can I say more, you know? She goes batshit crazy for the donkey she loves, and you know, we respect that, you know. Out here on the Aurora Meow channel, we respect that, you know. So you can't not like the donkey. You cannot like the dragon donkey, you know, and they even give us the dragon donkey hybrid, which is the most fucking cursed thing I've ever seen in my life. So, you know, just for that as well, you know. I'm gonna consider dragon from Shrek a yandere. Okay, the next one is the yandere from Raging Loop. Because I don't want to spoil this, you know, because it's like the main end twist. It's more of a you know kind of twist. This yandere is so fucked up. I started out liking them. Like from the first appearance, I liked the yandere because I didn't know they were a yandere. But you know, that entire final twist of Raging Loop is god awful, and it's for that they can die. Honestly, they deserve to die. They deserve like all of the hell in the entire world, and oh my god, yeah, you know, I don't have more to say on that. Raging Loop honestly was a trip. It was like a fever dream constantly, and I love the premise, but honestly the execution of everything was just poor in my eyes. No character really gets development, so that kind of goes basically for like how I feel overall for the yandere in there as well. Okay, this girl, unpin images. I didn't mean to do that. I don't consider her a yandere. I'm pretty sure she appears as a yandere in one scene in the disappearance of Nagito. Okay, no, she's called Nagato. The robot girl. I think this happens in like the first episode or so. I dropped Nagato-chan. I found it really boring. And for that, she's not really a yandere. It's like one episode, and it's more of a threat than anything. I don't really have an opinion on her. She's not really a character I thought of past those 2 episodes I watched of the disappearance of Nagato. And if you want to take it further and look at her in the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya and stuff, and the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, again, not really. She doesn't really have a presence, so not a yandere. And if I wasn't going to rate her that, it would be meh, so not much of a difference. And then you have Akito Soma from Fruits Basket. I hate Akito with a burning passion. Akito, like, if you have watched all of Fruits Basket, you will know why. I'm not going to spoil that, so I'm not going to say what happens. But even if you don't look at the ending, right? If you look at the entire series of Fruits Basket, they are just so mean. And sure, they have their reasons for being like that. But actions, or I guess, you know, kind of like obviously actions don't justify the means. Like, nothing justifies the means of the action, you know? Or means don't justify the actions is what I want to say. Like, even if you consider a shitty background in any forms of the sense, which I'm not going to get into because it's very controversial, and I honestly sympathize with Akito for that, but obviously it doesn't justify all the horrible things they end up doing. And honestly, all of the stuff is enough to still make me consider that they're one of the worst characters that have existed. You know, besides like all of the characters that commit like mass murders or like, you know, genocides. You know, if we don't consider those type of tiers, you know, from actions that aren't illegal. Well, they borderline doing illegal stuff. Anyway, I would say they're one of the worst ones. So Akito can die. Also, considering Akito a yandere, I again would not consider Akito a yandere. And for most of these, I don't consider them a yandere, but Akane especially, I think they are just more very like suffering, to then make other people suffer, to then kind of be very toxic mindset more than anything, taking their suffering out on other people kind of thing, rather than like a legit yandere. But yeah, Saya from Saya's song, Saya no Uta. I like Saya, you know, I will put Saya like here. Thing is, she's so iconic. You know what, fan? I love Saya. Like, I personally gave Saya's song, I think, a 7. The story, I think, it just, I like the story, but, like, you know what, I just have complicated feelings about Saya's song. I can't explain it in, like, just a simple, like, term without going on an entire monologue, so I can't give you an in-depth kind of like analysis, obviously, because this is not a Saya video, this is a yandere tier list video. She's a very obvious yandere because well, technically, if you consider she's not human, then technically she's not a yandere, but we're gonna try and include it in like a yandere, human perspective. She's a yandere in that she kills everyone for food except the main character, and she seems to show some kind of affection for the main character. However, romantic affection is debatable. I could also see it as like a very sick and twisted kind of familial love kind of thing. So it's hard not to have some kind of like love and hate relationship with her, which, to be fair, is kind of what they're going for, which again, it's hard for me to then put her lower because of that. So, you know, to be fair, maybe I should be calling her it. Saya should be it and not she, because of what it is. So, yeah, I also somehow feel bad for Saya because of her backstory, but at the same time, she's twisted, and at the same time, my feelings are complicated, you know. This is I wish I could fix her moment, but, you know, like, she could literally be the leading figure on alien domination in Saya's song, but, you know, I'm gonna say I love her just because she's so iconic, you know. It's love-hate relationship, very complicated, you know. My relationship started with Saya, it's complicated, don't ask. Very simple. Now, Gretel, I, again, love Gretel. I love Gretel. Gretel is from Taisho X Alice, and he goes beyond. I mean, he's a very stereotypical yandere of taking the main character hostage, wanting to keep her away from other guys, getting jealous easily. The difference is he doesn't go as far as killing people, and he has reasons. Like, he's a bit more of a nuanced yandere of why he does stuff. I suppose the thing is, it's a bit 50-50 whether he hurts the main character. I wouldn't personally consider him ever hurting the main character because the main character is delusional. The main character is, in my opinion, worse than Gretel. In my opinion, right? And this is a big opinion. Gretel is not a yandere. He has been brainwashed or gaslit by the main character, because I would honestly consider the main character more yandere. I think she is quite manipulative, and I think the reason he turned out the way he is because of how she treats him, and she's very aware of this. She's very aware that she's kind of nurtured this dependency on him. So, number one, she was asking for everything that ended up happening, and she loves what is happening to her in his story anyway. And second off, she is basically the yandere in the scenario. She's like the reverse yandere. Like, she made a yandere to be yandere about herself. So it's like a yandere x yandere story, technically, you know. They're both super crazy for each other. And even if you want to take out the context of Gretel, Eureka, who is the main character, by the way, so this is a 2-for-1, you know, this is a 2-for-1 rating. But to be fair, I love Gretel, but I can die Eureka. I really despise Eureka, but that's mainly because of this right now. You know, like I said, she's very manipulative, gaslighty. That's why I would put it in can die. You know, that's just my opinion on Eureka, though. I know a lot of people really like her. I know some people see her as really wholesome. In my opinion, if you take it out of the context of Gretel, she is a yandere in more roots than just his. Like the wizards, Alice's root. Like, there's so many that I consider her borderline crazy and like a yandere and like manipulative to get her way. So, you know, they're both kind of yandere. So I guess 2 for 1, they're going in. I love them. I also love Taisho Exalis, which again is a bit biased. Now it is Anna, who is from Shimoneta, and she is basically love juice girl. She is really into the main character for whatever reason. She's a closet pervert. She gives him love juice cookies, which I don't want to elaborate on because I'm sure you can guess what that means. I don't really like her. It mainly comes from a design perspective, and that she, instead of being like a yandere possessive wise, like cute wise, it's more of like a horny wise, which makes sense for Shimoneta because Shimoneta is just horny the anime. You know, it's literally Shimoneta, I play a world where dirty jokes don't exist. I feel so bad for myself that I can know the entire name off by heart, but because of that, you know, I mean, she's definitely a yandere, you know, but she's too much of a horn dog, you know. she's too crazy, like, yeah, like, she's just mad. Like, if she existed in real life, I would honestly, I would need protecting, you know. I'd probably never even touch food again, you know. I'd be too scared that she's contaminated it. You know, she'd probably maybe contract some kind of disease, as she'd like to call it, the love disease, you know. Because I bet she'd be happy if the main character or I died from just like something she injected into the body. Anyway, moving on, Mikan. Mikan is a kind of a little bit of a spoiler for Danganronpa 2, but she is a yandere for Junko. After being brainwashed, she becomes a heavy yandere. When she gets her memories back of everything, she remembers she's a remnant of despair. She goes fucking batshit crazy. She kills 2 people. She enters her best arc, some may even argue, you know. So, you know, I like Mikan. I like Mikan. She's really cute. You know, the only parts I don't like about Mikan is just the weird sexualization they do of her, with like her falling over in CGs. Like, I don't like those ones. I think those are kind of like not that great. But if you remove like those sections, she's always like really fun in the game, and obviously cute. So, you know, she's very simple, you know. She's cute, she's simple, and you know, she's very fun in the game and the anime. But to be fair, I didn't like it as much in the anime because I felt like they just kind of skipped what makes Mikan fun, and they just went straight to she is a subordinate of Junko because she's going to get brainwashed in the first like split second to then ruin all of her other friends. So, you know, poor Mikan, you know, she's just a victim in all of this. You know, she's always a victim, and I feel so sorry for her. But yeah, now we have a basically another pink head, but technically purple head, pink head yandere. This is Kanato from Dialovers. He spans over like 5 or 6 games, got 2 animes. So, you know, there's a lot of material for this series. As a series as a whole, yeah, I'm not gonna state my opinion on it because like it's kind of like it's very weird. But honestly, Kanato is voiced by Yuki Kaji, and I'm a huge simp. So his voice actor, yandere, like if you combine them, you get like a top tier character, top tier yandere. So yeah, best of the best. I mean, there's not much to say. He's a very stereotypical yandere. He abuses the main character is the only downside about it. But you know, Kanato is Kanato, and a yandere Yuki Kaji is a yandere Yuki Kaji. You know, I don't argue. I just see the facts. You know, that's all I can say. Feel free to judge me. You know, I deserve it after that. But anyway, Yuri. Moving on, we got Yuri from Spy Family, and again, he's not really a yandere, but considering we want to be fair and we want to rate all the yanderes, we're gonna give him a rating that isn't not a yandere because technically he does show some of those tendencies. And again, this is like an incest thing, you know. It's like he's in love with Yor, but not in a romantic sense. It's still like a sibling thing, you know. He'll never get a girlfriend because of that, but you know, he will be like, it's very obvious he will kill anyone who will harm his sister, and he hates every guy that ever steps in her view. And, you know, I actually like Yuri. You know, Yuri's fine. You know, like, Yuri's just really funny. He's like a comic relief character for me. I know some people hate him because, like, they just really ship your ex-Lloyd, and so they hate that he gets in the way of that. But he's just supposed to be a comic relief character, just like the other spy girl, Midnight, I think she's called, which I also really like her. But Yuri is honestly probably my favorite comic relief character, besides Anya, obviously. Like a side character of comic relief is like my favorite one. So yeah, I like Yuri. I think he's a good dynamic in the series. And now we have Lily from Demon's Roots, which is a very niche series, but a very series close, like, near and dear to my heart. And Lily was my favorite in Demon's Roots after Death Polka, obviously. Like, Death Polka and Lily I shipped, like, heavily. If that wasn't obvious, I'm a Polka x Lily, like, die-hard stan. I love them so much, and I love the ending, and I basically love how it's quite canon about that ship in the end, or like at least their friendship. I want to say ship, so I want to say their ship is canon, even if it's technically not confirmed, but basically confirmed. And I love like the backstory of Polka and Lily, and I just love everything about them, and I love Lily as a character. You know, if we take away like the certain scenes that you see in her backstory, like, it's very strong, especially compared to the other characters in Demon's Roots, which are still very strong, but like Lily obviously has like thousands of years to back it up. So she's like quite strong yandere, and obviously she tries to kill Polka. It's questionable if she's a yandere because she's killing the person she loves, but I would argue, you know, she kind of is, because she also protects Polka in the end. She decides to fight against like the mind control, to fight with Polka and to protect Polka, and she becomes Super Saiyan at some point to protect Polka. So I would consider her a yandere, and that is a little bit of a bias, but I love Lily, so I had to include her. So, you know, she's here, and I love Lily. Okay, maybe she's not above Amelia, but, you know, just because I played Demon's Roots on this channel, I will put Lily above Amelia. Next up is Mita. Mita, I would probably put her just under the S tier, like a strong A tier. And my reasoning for that is because not all of the Mitas are yandere. Only, well, if you want to put it like, okay, this decently heavy spoiler for me side, but you know, the Mita that is trying to kill you all the time is technically not a Mita, but is more like a virus. So technically she's not Mita, but at the same time she's not a Mita, you know? So she's just like an imposter. For that she gets an A, you know? And also because I have a strong liking for Cappy, like full of joy, and I love her for that, you know? Top tier wife, I would rate her specifically S tier, but considering I have to do all around the Mitas, yeah, gonna get a strong A tier from me. Oh yeah, and what was she called? Misa, the gaming Mita. Yeah, if I could say my least favorite, she would be it. And she would probably get a very low C tier, you know. Just throwing out specific examples because I thought, why not? I will not rate all the Mitas because I would be too metified to the Mita of put it all in the tier list. So Mita A, yeah. And the next one that I forgot to include, or more like I just started playing this recently, so why not throw her in there? From Blue Archive, there's Whack-A-Mole, or some refer to her as the Whack-A-Mole. And what I've been told, she is very yandere-like, and I suppose from interactions with her through the loading screen, title screen, homepage, thing, mabob, she is definitely something special. Like, I can tell you that, you know? She's got the entire package. She can come in any form you want. She hides her face behind the, you know, I want to say cat mask, but it's a fox mask. You know, I can't be coping there. And a lot of people say that for some reason she looks like me. So keeping that in mind, I can't give her a low score. I haven't really played her story quests. Never really met her in the story besides the prologue. So I can't really judge her on character, but only assets that she has in her appearance. And for that, I'll give her a B. You know, I'll be generous. I'll give her a B. While she doesn't kill people, I mean, I know yanderes are multifaceted and they're not all crazed, deprived psychopaths. But, you know, it's a trope we die hard on in the yandere space. And she apparently is not a crazy psychopath killer unless it's for the sensei. So I guess in that regard she is. But like, you know what? Tangent. I don't know where I'm going with that. Yeah, Whack-A-Mole, strong B. Yeah. That's it. So yeah, that's my tier list. It took me a very long time to go through all of these characters. I think there's about 51 here. I'm very surprised how long it took me, but yeah, I mean, it's done now. It's done, finally. I'm happy with the results. You know, I think this is a solid tier list. I think there's many controversial takes here, which feel free to argue about them. Feel free. Also, feel free to also do this tier list. I will leave the link to it in the description. I did make this one myself, and I would love to see your tier list of the yanderes. But feel free to either send them in the Discord, which is linked in the description as well, hopefully. And if not in the description, then it's always linked in my card, which is in my YouTube bio. So feel free to check that out. Or you can tag me on Twitters or any other social media platform. And it's always at Iromikuma. I would love to see where you put everyone. I'd also love to know if you rate them similarly, disagree heavily with my takes, agree heavily with one of my takes. You know, I'd love to know. So yeah. Also, I hope you include me in this tier list, obviously, because I'm obviously the ultimate yandere. Super big yandere vibes, obviously. I mean, to be fair, the definition of yandere in this tier list is very broad, so technically I could be considered in this list. I finally made it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment and watch more videos and subscribe and meow and hit the meow paw button and watch the streams and do everything that you love in life and see meow.